What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be installing a OEM 350Z NISMO version 3 spoiler. So what we're doing here is we're going to cut this cardstock or construction paper into 8 strips. We're going to use this to mark the holes on the spoiler. So let's cut them, and then we're going to be using a hole punch to mark roughly the center of the paper. We bought this spoiler used off eBay. They didn't repair it that well. There's supposed to be a stud right there, just like this one. There's supposed to be 2 studs. So since that one's missing, we're just going to cut off this other stud with a grinding wheel. So when we go to test mount it, it'll be nice and flat. If you're curious how we fixed that other stud, we epoxied a nut in there with the same thread pitch. So all we have to do is put a bolt through it. We bought this drill and tap set at Home Depot. It was $10, and we're going to be using it on the stud that we took off. Make sure you hit it with the center punch first so the drill bit doesn't skip. We're taking the paper that we cut from earlier and putting it on all 6 pre-existing mounting holes, along with the 2 studs. Don't use too much tape while doing this, because we want it to stick to the body and not the spoiler. Take your time doing these holes and taping it up to the car. There's only one way it should really fit, since it's a curved hatch, and it should look like that. After you like the way that it sits and you're happy with it, tape all of the paper to the car. Make sure you take your time and use a lot of tape. When you take off the spoiler, you do not want it to mess up the paper. These will be your mounting holes. We're outlining these holes just in case the paper gets moved in the future. It's not necessary, but we're doing it because this is over a couple days. Right here, we're using a center punch to tap these so that we can go ahead and drill our pilot holes. We're laying down cardboard and a 2x4 to prop open the hatch and catch any metal shavings when we go to drill. We forgot to record it, but make sure you take off the plastic trim under the hatch. It comes off with a couple clips. This hole ended up lining up perfectly with the hole already underneath the hatch, but as for the other 6, you're going to have to drill them out yourself. Make sure when you go to drill, the drill bit is matching the angle of the trunk. We drilled straight down and ended up having to re-drill a second hole. We're using a 3/16 inch drill bit and drilling through the second layer. Now we switched to a 5/16 drill bit just to drill out the top layer a little bigger. We bought this Milwaukee step-up bit. It was a little expensive, but we're using it right before this first silver tick. Take your time while doing this. The metal is thick and it is not that easy to drill through. Right here we glued on some rubber washers to protect and seal our new holes. We're scraping off all the pre-existing weather stripping. This is just adhesive, and we're adding new weather stripping. This right here is what we went with. It was from Amazon. It is thicker than what was on there, but it's gonna seal and compress really nicely. The weather stripping is important because it's going to keep out all the water. Make sure you do not skip this step, and you want to have a full line of weather stripping, no gaps. These are the holes that we were talking about from earlier where we messed up. This is us going back and re-drilling. We ended up using these threaded rods. They're M6 by 1.0. They're 100 millimeters long, and we ended up cutting them later. But this is more of a temporary solution because we have to take off this wing to get paint anyway. I think we will be using bolts in the future, and the thread pitch would still be M6 by 1.0. Again, this is temporary. We're going to be cutting the studs shorter after paint, so then we can put the plastic trim back. This is the hole that we had to re-drill. You can see the angle of the bolt, and we didn't compensate for that on the top.
That is the end of the video, guys. If you enjoyed this, leave a like and a comment down below. I hope to see your guys' builds with this spoiler on it. It's really unique. So if you learned anything, drop a comment and leave a like. We got tons of other videos coming. Right now we're working on this garage cleaning video. So stay tuned for that. The garage is gonna look so much better. See you guys in the next one.